Some friends come around once in a lifetime.
The kind of friend who gives you everything and asks for nothing in return.
We'd like to tell you about someone we love, someone we aspire to be.
Presenting The Parable of Mike, a story told in 7 virtues.
Dependable.
Firstly, he's a real one. Like, Mike is a real one. Like, if I were like, in all honesty, if I had ever gotten arrested and I needed to call one of our friends for help, I think I would use my call for Mike.
So I was drunk at a kid's house, and it was a really uncomfortable situation for me. And I actually called Maddie Albany's.
I couldn't do it, so I called Mike.
And it's like, hey, like, can you pick me up? Can you drive? Like, I'm not in a position to drive, and my driver is under the influence.
And I was like, hey, how willing are you to drive 45 minutes and pick up me and 2 girls you don't know from an apple orchard? And he's like, can you give me 15? And I was like, yeah, you can take 15.
I remember somebody calling him for a ride because they were drunk. And I remember saying, Mike, I'm so glad you're the one. I want them to call you. That's good.
And I found it pretty extraordinary that someone like I barely knew was willing to pick me up in the middle of the night and get me home safe and go out of their way for another person. I'd never really seen that before from a friend.
You know, whether it was when he was helping with my work and he gets the call from Bella, you know, where they're stranded out somewhere in apple picking, you know, he's willing to go and help her and pick her up, you know, hours drive back.
Mike and I were filming this short masterpiece. It was a foosball training montage. While we were filming something, like we were just filming like the actual training montage part, and like my lung collapsed. Eventually, like when they realized it was more serious than like we were joking about like initially, like Mike like kicked it into action. He like just took me in his minivan and like just drove me. I think he drove me straight to my house. Like, so I'm glad he did that because, you know, I'm still alive.
I think being friends with Mike is knowing that there's someone who's like always got your back. And I always feel like very safe and very comfortable whenever I'm with Mike. Like, I know that he'll get it done and he'll make sure everything is okay.
As funny and as fun as he is, he's also somebody I think that anyone that is close to him can count on and can lean on at any point.
Generous.
He's such a generous person with his time, and overall he's just, I don't know, just an amazing human being.
Remember when he, that family asked him to tutor their son?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Their son struggled a lot with basic math concepts like
he had some
understanding
major learning disabilities.
And Mike was very patient. We didn't see how he tutored, but we ran into the kid's dad, you know, a year later, and this father was just, to this day, we just saw him a month ago.
Yeah.
He asked about Mike.
He's just like willing to help you with whatever you're trying to deal with at that moment. Like if you have a project and you're like, hey, can you do some weird, you know this, you'd be like, hey, can you come outside and pretend to get kicked by your roommate? He'll like do it.
I needed a laptop because my laptop was still had to arrive in a week. And like as soon as I told him, I didn't even expect that of him, but he was like, you can use my laptop for as long as you want. Like for that week of study that I needed a laptop for. And that was just like a true bro move.
Mike is just somebody who's always been so inherently just good and so always like ready to do the right thing and the good thing and the thing that's best for everyone or for the other person and not necessarily himself. And that just like seems to just like radiate through.
Wise.
Mike Hebert is one of the smartest people I know.
I think that's an understatement. I think his input to the subject is always sort of rational. You know, he always thinks about what he says.
And not just because the kid knows code, like whoop-de-doo, but he's always been smart. I actually would like go beyond smart and call him wise.
He's a really good listener. Like, I've been able to have like one-on-one conversations, even if it's just trash I'm talking. He sits there and he listens, and he'll give his 2 cents, but it's never condescending. It's never blaming you for something. It's just, he'll let you talk if you gotta talk, and he'll just come back with love. The last couple years, like whenever I've been going through something, he's the kind of person that will always talk to you, and he'll listen really well, and he'll actually care.
I was stuck thinking about the same thing over and over and over again, and I think just being able to sit down and have him tell me, hey, this is what you're doing, like, either let's talk about something else or talk about it differently, I think helped get me to get out of my rut and kind of move on with my life.
He's definitely a person that people should look up to, and there's a lot to learn from him as well.
Confident.
He's always right.
Yeah. He's the rightest.
He's the most right.
If
No.
he's more right than right, that's what he would be.
He thinks things through, but not in a way where everything takes hours to plan. He's willing to do stuff. It's just more like he can make a decision really quickly, and you can trust it's the right one.
He like cares a lot about what he's saying, you know, and he works to be educated in what he's saying. So even if he's giving you some bullshit argument, you know at least he's read one article.
Right, yeah, he's read something, seen something somewhere.
Yeah.
It's that whole thing he has with defending furries. Have you heard of this?
I was talking about how furries are weird, and then Mike was like, but what if they weren't? And I was like, oh, but they are.
He's kind of stubborn. He'll argue about a lot of stuff.
Well, as I said, he's very sure of who he is as a person, which is a quality that a lot of people spend half their life looking for.
Or a certain amount of confidence. I think he just is good at being himself.
He believes what he believes is true.
Faithful.
We're both in Engineers Without Borders here at school, and last year he was the program director for the Honduras program we have here, and that was a really rough time because everything kind of went wrong.
He really wanted to make sure that the project went through so that that village wouldn't get stuck.
Even in the moments he doesn't have a handle on it, he has a handle on something. I think he's good at staying cool even in weird situations.
So faithful is a big word. It means a lot of different things, you know. And one of the things is loyalty. One of the things is just kind of stick-to-itness. And once he grabs something, because of the people that are involved, like Chris said about the Engineers Without Borders things, he wasn't thrilled with the project, but he did get very involved with the people. He never cut anybody down, even if they weren't, you could tell that some of them weren't doing a good job. They weren't leading it well, they were abandoning ship, and he just didn't, because he didn't want to abandon the people.
He'll do it the best that he can, and he really just like gives 100% with everything that he does, like relationships and school and work and all that.
Forthright.
He's honest. I guess I mean bluntly honest. I think he's good at telling how it is. And I think that perspective is nice, especially if you don't hear it a lot.
He's honest. He's just, you know, what you see is what you get, and it's a good, it's not a bad thing. You know, he's very forthright with a good heart. He's not playing games. He's just very honest about things.
Yep.
Loving.
That's like one of my favorite things about Mike, 'cause he's just like so welcoming and like loves everyone so much. I can see you smiling because like, you know, I'm so right. Like, he just wants everyone to be so like comfortable and happy. All of us kind of saddled up in your kitchen, and like on the day of my like 20th birthday, like Mike made all of us dinner, and like he just like opened up his home to all of us, which I guess on one hand, like, we expected because he's Mike, but also just like, I don't know. I think I could cry right now, but like, I know Hannah, like, and I just like felt super grateful. Wow, I think I am gonna cry. I don't know. Not only could like he cook a good meal, but like he did it because he loved us. And like, I don't know. I don't know if that was me feeling like proud of him, more so just like me like feeling grateful to have him.
I'm gonna get kind of emotional. Very rarely in my life have I felt accepted and just loved unconditionally. And Mike Hebert is an incredible friend, and he's just always been there for me, and that's a pretty exceptional thing to say.
Unconditional love. How he's just always there and just always will like give you a nice hug.
I don't think he has hate in his bones. Like he just says everything with like super love thoughtful. And passionate. Thinks about, he's very thoughtful.
He cares about his friends. I think he does a lot for other people. And I don't know, I think he just knows how to make people feel like they're the most important person. And he really knows how to focus his attention on the people he's with.
He's very good to his grandparents.
Oh, he is.
He always takes time to be with them, and when he is with them, he's with them.
And even his grandma, who is losing her mental capabilities, he's very patient with her.
My mom, he'll go and sit and,
talk with her about anything.
He just has a big heart. Like that's something that will show from the very first time you meet him. He has a big heart. He cares for everyone, and that's what I felt when I first met him. I was like, this kid, he's a great person.
I really think it's just his heart towards others. I mean, he's just a rarely kind of thoughtful kid, young man. And he's been that way. He's never been a pain in the ass.
I'd agree with that.
He's very thoughtful. He's also someone who I think has a lot more than people would ever necessarily know. He's like more thoughtful than I think people would necessarily give him credit for upon first meeting him.
I gotta think of something specific. I'm always proud to have Mike as a friend. Oh my god.
All the time. Like every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just think about what a great brother he is. He's a really good guy.
You know, he has always made us proud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just has. He could point to things and one thing after another, little things, bigger things, but the way he carries himself, the way he conducts his life, the choices he's made, almost all of them have made us proud.
Yep.
And now, some closing thoughts about our best friend.
We are nothing without those we love, and without Mike Hebert, there is no Nate and Noah. You've helped us be everything we want to be.
In a year, we'll be graduating college and moving to different cities. We'll go from being housemates to FaceTime friends.
But never forget that someone who is so loved never has to be alone.
I consider it one of the great honors of my life to pick that big brain of yours. You've talked to me about wondering why you're here, why this world matters. The world matters because of people like you.